Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
This is TWiT News, episode 396, recorded Wednesday, October 4th, 2023. Made by Google, 2023. TWiT News is brought to you by our friends at IT Pro TV, now called ACI Learning. Give your team the IT training they want while future-proofing your business. Visit go.acilearning.com/TWiT. TWiT listeners can receive up to 65% off an IT Pro Enterprise Solution plan. The discount is based on the size of your team when you fill out their form.
Listeners of this program get an ad-free version if they're members of Club TWiT. $7 a month gives you ad-free versions of all of our shows, plus membership in the Club TWiT Discord, a great clubhouse for TWiT listeners. And finally, the TWiT Plus feed, with shows like Stacy's Book Club, The Untitled Linux Show, The Giz Fizz, and more. Go to twit.tv/clubtwit. And thanks for your support.
Hello and good morning, and welcome to TWiT's live coverage of Google's Made by Google event on this bright Wednesday, October 4th, 2023. I'm Jason Howell, and it's 7 a.m. here at the TWiT studio, so it's bright and early. The thing is, I usually wake up at 5, so this is nothing. I'm wide awake, I'm coffeed, I'm ready to go. Hopefully, so is my partner for the next hour and a half, however long this event is, my good friend Huyen TWiTDAO. How are you doing, Huyen? It's great to see you.
Hey, Jason. Wow, you are so much more awake and ready. I was thinking, I've got it easy. I'm on mountain time, so I have 1 extra hour of sleep, but I cannot compete with your morning awareness and readiness.
Let's go, Google. Make it happen.
Now, we're ready now. Start early. Come on, let's go.
My eyes, they wake up at 5 a.m. these days. It's just the way it goes. I guess that means I'm getting older.
You just have kids.
You have that to look forward to somewhere down the line when
good to know.
Eyes waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's great to have you here. Huyen, of course, is one of the hosts of Android Faithful, which is really the kind of the spiritual successor of the show that we did here at TWiT, all about Android. So folks can go to androidfaithful.com and should to subscribe.
Please.
Did you all talk about a little bit about what to expect on last night's show?
We did. We've been doing it so much because every year now they just leak everything before the actual announcement that we've been talking about. It seems like forever. So we seem to know everything about what's going to be announced. But we did. We gave it a little bit of a nod and let everyone know that I will be here with you. Well, I am here with you, Jason, this morning. So
good.
We did.
Yeah, we had
we know everything now.
Yeah, I mean, Google really, this is their strategy, right? It's like they've been burned so many times by leaky photos on a subway, or some people would argue, that's Google working behind the scenes. But I think this gives them an opportunity to really control the message, to try their best to build up hype with actual official announcements to get people excited versus the I think. Instead, we really know so much about these devices going into this event, as we do every year, for the past handful of years. So.
We talked about this last night too. It's just like, it definitely seems like part of the game, the game plan and the whole ecosystem of everyone that is just part of the intentional leaks or unintentional, but welcome or planned leaks. Yeah. And then it becomes what's the surprise going to be? What is the actual announcement other than, hey, we're confirming everything that, that y'all been saying.
You knew everything, and now we had our announcement to confirm that you knew everything. All right, are you excited? Yeah, it's like you always want for these events, there's got to be at least some bit of surprise to get, otherwise the outlets that are reporting on it are just kind of talking about the same stuff they've been talking about. So where is the extra added excitement around this? At the same time, who really watches these events? The people who are really passionate about this are actually tuning in. Obviously, TWiT fans are excited for these events. That's why you're here and watching. But the masses, are not like tuning in to this. So the excitement built around this is going to happen organically over time anyways, when somebody walks into a carrier store and sees it and goes, oh, I guess Google has a new phone, that sort of thing.
Yeah, for sure. We were talking about this last night where I think all of us are increasingly getting pixel sightings in the wild or even comments. And that's, not, I presume that most people I walk into on the street are not big Android/Google nerds like me. And so that is part of the messaging, isn't it? Is like the general public and letting them know, hey, Google has stuff and creating hype and interest in it. So,
yeah. It's probably worth noting that this is finally getting underway a smooth 3 minutes late, which I feel like doesn't usually happen. So we're going to start with some sort of Google promo video.
Have you heard the scoop
I think
about
what
the
we
new Google
expect
products
and
yet?
know that we're going to see today, though, the Pixel 8, the Pixel 8 Pro, Pixel Watch 2, the Pixel Buds Pro, like a very minor refresh there, I think. And then beyond that, it's kind of like, what is is there going to be a one more thing or a super secret surprise? Could be a new Chromecast. There's been lots of leaks on that. Could be maybe a preview of the Pixel Flip. I really doubt that's going to happen. Pixel 8a preview, but that comes out middle of next year, so I doubt that's going to happen. But you never know. Maybe Google will have some surprise, some tricks up their sleeves.
I don't know that band. The universe is telling me that it will help with my stress levels.
And it can even erase annoying sounds. Really? Yeah. Oh, guys, nope.
But do you really think all those rumors are true?
Well, let's see.
Who are you talking to?
The people. Okay.
The people at the event. So this is going to be a fully pre-recorded? No, it's not. It's going to be a live event. Okay.
there we go. Hey, Mr. Rick Oswald.
I did get an invite for this event, but sorry, I'm
Thanks
not
for
traveling
joining
to New
us,
York.
whether you're streaming the show from around the world or live with us here in Pier 57 in New York City. Extra special welcome to our friends in Japan and across Asia who are staying up late with us today. 2023 is a big year for Google. If you've been following the company, you know we celebrated our 25th birthday last month. And it's a year of massive innovation. We're sharing AI breakthroughs and new research on a weekly basis. Now, I've worked in the tech industry for a long time, and I've never seen anything like the speed of innovation at Google right now. In the 5 months since Google I/O, we've rolled out new capabilities across so many Google products, including Search, Workspace, Android, and Bard. As always, our focus is on making AI more helpful for everyone
Right off the
in
top.
a way that's both bold
Three mentions.
and responsible. Now, today we're going to talk about what that means for Pixel, the only phone engineered by Google. We have so much to share with you. Now, looking around the room here, I see a few people who were here at our first Pixel launch 7 years ago. And if you can remember, we shared our vision for mobile computing, that the world was evolving from mobile first to AI first. And we explained that Pixel is designed to bring hardware and software together with AI at the center to deliver simple, fast, and smart experiences.
Yeah, it's easy to think that
since
this whole
then,
AI thing is a
Pixel's
now
had
thing.
so many breakthrough
But I mean, we've
Yeah.
been talking about AI and its integrations into
What I'm
Android
most
just as
proud
one
of
example
is how
for
consistently
years,
we've tracked
like
to
Rick
that
just said.
early
I mean,
vision of Pixel
the
as
assistants,
the AI-centric
Google
mobile
Now. I
computer.
mean, these things
We're still at
compared
it,
to what we're
and people are
seeing
taking
in
notice.
developments in AI now
Pixel is the
might
fastest
seem a
growing
little,
smartphone
not
brand
pedestrian, but a
in our
little
top
simple
markets.
by comparison.
And the
But
only one
that's where Google's
that
mind
grew
was
units
at, and they've
sold year over year.
consistently built upon that.
Across Google's entire line.
Yeah, most of AI has been undercover, not even undercover, but just the kind of technology that you don't notice, and that's kind of the point of it,
Yeah.
more or less. It just brings things to you, and you don't think about it too much, but it's become such a buzzword. My husband and I talk about this all the
with
time.
the help of advanced hardware.
huge
It all has to
buzzword
work
now.
closely
I mean,
together.
almost to the
And you
point
can
of
see
these,
that
the
approach
companies are
across
like
Google.
falling over themselves to, say it a million times in events like this, just to be sure that you know that they're so focused on it and innovating and everything.
From Google DeepMind.
But you have to. And I mean, DeepMind's been around forever. I almost feel bad for them having to catch up on the messaging when they've been around.
It's like, oh, wait a minute. Don't forget. We were here. Don't you remember DeepMind?
Ages ago.
Remember that?
Pixel Camera,
That was us.
which uses Google AI models to go way beyond taking a good photo. Pixel Camera makes it easy to get beautiful shots in nearly impossible lighting conditions, track moving subjects, and get colors and skin tones just right. The computational photography in Pixel Camera is one of the biggest mobile computing breakthroughs of the last decade, and it's moved the entire industry forward. The idea of AI-centric mobile computing was a radical concept when Pixel first launched. But Pixel's demonstrated again and again that it's the clearest path to helpful, simple, personal smartphone experiences. Over the past few years, we've applied our experience with AI in phones to a growing Pixel portfolio of devices, like watches, tablets, foldables, and buds. And as Google AI gets better, those devices keep getting better too. For instance, this week, we're rolling out our biggest update ever to Pixel Buds Pro with a number of AI-enabled features and improvements.
Oh, okay.
We're improving our clear calling technology, which automatically reduces background noise and enhances the voices on any phone call you receive. It doesn't matter if the person is calling you from a busy sidewalk or in a noisy restaurant, you'll hear them even more clearly. And it works on every call. No need to press a button and turn it on each time. Pixel Buds Pro are also among the first earbuds to use Bluetooth super wideband speech. It doubles the bandwidth to make voices sound more natural. And when it's combined with clear calling, your phone calls sound so much better. Just listen to the before and after.
Grabbing a coffee next to the office, and I got a few more meetings to get through and a quick errand, and I'm going to be ready to come out and join everybody for dinner. So, are you still thinking of trying that place on 63rd? I've heard really great things about it.
You can really...
Sounds good.
You can
I like
really
it.
hear the difference.
Yeah.
Now, AI can make Pixel Buds Pro more convenient to use as well. When you're listening to music and need to have a quick chat with a coworker or tell the barista your coffee order, you can just start talking. Pixel Buds Pro will automatically pause your audio and turn on transparency mode.
No,
more
I've
scrambling,
tried
pull the
that
phone out of
mode
your
on other
pocket, take it on
earbuds,
an
and
earbud.
it does not work
Now,
for
we're
me.
also
Too many
reducing
false
latency
starts.
by up to 50%, which is great news for the gamers out there. And there are a few more updates today that you can read about over on the Google Store. Pixel Buds Pro
Latency improvements
aren't the
are
only
a
devices
welcome
getting a boost
addition.
today.
I wonder how
With our new
much of
feature
an
drop
improvement
rolling out
50%
today,
actually feels like.
We're bringing dual
Yeah, that's the
screen
thing, though. I'm still very skeptical. I've tried recently.
You and
I
whoever
just
you're
don't feel like
talking to
50% is
can
enough.
now have your own personal translator across more than 45 languages. And along with device updates, we're also tapping Google's AI research to create richer user experiences in our apps and services. For instance, we see so many opportunities to bring AI into Google Home to make your smart home more intuitive and helpful. It can be hard to keep track of what's going on at home. If you're on vacation or just having a busy week, catching up can involve a lot of scrolling. But generative AI can help with that by synthesizing all that info into a more simple view. In the Google Home app, you'll soon get a streamlined view of what happened recently with a quick and easy summary. If you're wondering about your packages, you'll be able to ask about your home in natural language and quickly find the clip you're looking for from your Nest doorbell video history.
That's neat. I like that.
And it'll be
I do like
easy
that.
to take action on those insights too. Just type a follow-up query, and the Home app will be able to generate a suggested automation for your devices. And we'll be rolling out these experimental features to subscribers next year. And we've got a whole lot more where that came from.
That is always the
Today,
interesting part, the
we're gonna show
integrations
you
that
the
they can
next evolution of
put
Pixel
together.
wearables and phones.
And I am interested in that as someone who scrolls through their camera footage constantly looking for packages or looking who arrived.
Yeah, indeed.
State-of-the-art AI research. It's an action-packed show, so let's get into it. Here's James to show you the next generation of Pixel wearables.
All right, Pixel wearables coming up, but we're going to
go.
take a super quick break and thank the sponsor of this live event. TWiT News is brought to you by our friends at IT Pro TV, now called ACI Learning. Today's successful business leaders focus on the future. IT Pro empowers teams by creating content that educates, informs, and entertains. Get this, IT Pro's completion rate, it's 50% higher than the training industry average. IT pros actually want to learn this way. Your enterprise needs cohesive, cutting-edge training to keep your team in compliance, keep them ahead of the curve. Choose an existing course. You can combine modules for a tailored solution, or you can let IT Pro custom design a course to address your specific needs. Join the always-on tech training solution. Visit go.acilearning.com/twit today. TWiT listeners can receive up to 65% off an IT Pro Enterprise Solution Plan. The discount is based on the size of your team when you fill out their form. All right, here's James Park talking about the Pixel Watch 2, I believe.
The health and fitness expertise of Fitbit. And that was only the beginning. I'd like to introduce you to Google Pixel Watch 2.
Some really interesting features, I think, coming up on this, even though the design looks very similar to, if not identical to the first one.
You're getting Google and Fitbit experiences.
Something about the
you
crown,
won't find
though.
on any other smartwatch. With the
Is the
best
crown
of Fitbit
altered?
Health and fitness
It's something. There was something about the crown. I think that
upgraded
was
the design
different.
and materials as well.
It's upgraded.
People love the sleek water droplet look of the first Pixel Watch.
It is a nice
We're
looking
upgrading our low-profile design for Pixel Watch 2 with more durable cover glass and 100% recycled aluminum housing that's lighter and more comfortable to wear when you're at play and at rest. And we took the same care with our new bands and watch faces. Elegant metals are designed to impress.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is.
Our new sport
definitely hitting a
design
spot
is
with
more
it.
breathable. And Pixel Watch 2 uses the same simple band mechanism. So last year's Pixel Watch bands still work great. And you'll see big upgrades across the entire Pixel Watch 2 experience. The new quad-core CPU gives you smooth, snappy performance. And battery life has improved as well. Even with the display in always-on mode, you'll get 24 hours of use on a single charge. And it charges faster too, with a 12-hour charge in just 30 minutes. You're also getting the full Wear OS 4 experience with new apps like Gmail and Calendar. Improvements to YouTube Music, Maps, and Google Assistant, and more of the third-party apps you know and love. With helpful apps and an all-day battery, Pixel Watch 2 is a great companion on any adventure. And if you get into a bind, you now have Pixel's safety features like medical information and emergency sharing right on your watch.
Yeah, they pulled that from the phone for the first time.
We're also bringing
real-time.
safety check
emergency
over from our
safety
Pixel
check,
phones to make sure
which
you
makes a
don't
lot of
feel
sense to
alone
have that on your wrist.
on the trail.
I
or on
love
your
that
walk
feature.
home.
Yeah.
Just set a timer for when you expect to arrive back home. If you can't check in after it expires, Safety Check will share your location with your emergency contacts. And by the way, with Fitbit Premium, you can use safety features like Safety Check and emergency location sharing, even if you haven't connected your LTE-enabled Pixel Watch 2 to a network.
How?
Now, I
That's
started
cool,
Fitbit
but
16
how
years
does-
ago on the idea that a new generation of wearable sensors could help people live healthier lives. And it's a mission we're still on as a combined Fitbit and Google team. With Pixel Watch 2, we're bringing together new AI algorithms, upgraded software, and 3 new sensors to give you the most complete picture of your everyday health. Pixel Watch's heart rate sensor has been upgraded from a single path sensor to a brand new, fully redesigned multi-path sensor. We've 10x the number of optical channels that can measure heart rate compared to the first-gen Pixel Watch. So now your heart rate can be measured in multiple locations on your wrist for a more accurate reading. And combined with an improved ML algorithm, Pixel Watch 2 produces up to 40% more accurate heart rate tracking during vigorous activities like HIIT, spinning, and rowing. And to further enhance your workout, new coaching features keep you on pace and in your target heart rate zone, while the more glanceable UI helps you nail your intervals.
That pace feature is a good one to have for health training,
into your
for
sleep
fitness training,
and overall wellness. And the new
the actual accuracy is super important. That is a thing that is an issue.
EDA sensor
with
powers
wrist-based.
Fitbit's body response. It detects moments when you're physically showing signs of stress, offers interventions to de-stress, and then afterwards prompts reflection over your day and week to help you better manage your stress in the future.
So you can be stressed about how often you were stressed.
You're stressed. So your stress levels rising and go even higher.
Yeah, that's the electrodermal activity sensor that he's talking about there.
The stress monitoring is totally table stakes these days for like health and fitness tracking. I know our Whoop does it. I assume the other watch does it.
Well, and the idea of mindfulness in health is such a hot topic right now. It's very, I hate to say trendy because that implies maybe that it's not useful. It totally is. I do my best to practice it, but I think it makes a lot of sense for wearables like this to monitor that sort of thing, because we live in a very stressful day and age, and largely because of technology that keeps us too connected. So it's like they're attempting to undo something that they have.
We're going to fix it. We'll fix it.
We broke you. Now let's fix you.
I will say it's a little disappointing to hear them tout the, we'll see how durable it is. I think a lot of people have covered recently that there is no repair policy for Pixel watches. So
yeah, right. That's right.
That's all I can think about is, I really hope it's more durable, because people are noticing that there's only a replace option, which is fine enough, but not very sustainable for sure, at the very least.
For sure, especially for a company that, is constantly trying, or at least signaling that is trying to be better with environmental issues and everything. With products, you gotta think about that stuff. Otherwise, like replacement is not an option. That just ends up in a landfill. Figure out how to make these things more repairable. For sure.
I will say I am, not that anyone asked, but I'm a kettlebeller. So I have noticed that the wrist is not an ideal place depending on your sport of choice. Yep. Kettlebells end up on my wrist a lot.
End up there. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And they're heavy. And they're
heavy.
Hard and often very rough.
And with no repair.
Yeah, totally.
If I could wear the Pixel Watch somewhere other than my wrist and have it still be accurate, that would be important.
Which launched last month. The new app gives you a holistic view of your health and wellness, with a focus on the metrics that matter most to you. You'll see a new structure with 3 tabs in the streamlined UI. The Today tab keeps you on track with your stats and goals. The Coach tab offers an easy way to browse and filter workouts and mindfulness sessions. The You tab helps you manage your personal details, goals, achievements, and connections with friends and family. And looking ahead, we see so many possibilities to use AI to bring you personalized coaching, dynamic workout recommendations, and even more context and insight. For example, the Fitbit app can use generative AI to surface connections and correlations in your Fitbit data. There's times when I think, hey, today's run felt harder than usual. How does it compare with my previous runs? Is there something in my overall data that could explain it? Fitbit answers my question by analyzing the most relevant data. In this case, my latest run was a 5K. So Fitbit surfaces and compares it to all my recent runs with similar distance. Fitbit confirms my pace was a bit slower and offers up insights into why today's run felt harder than usual.
That's really neat.
And it turns out the route I took was a bit hillier than normal.
Synthesizing the LLMs with the health information.
Right.
In my sleep scores, and how combined with hills, that might have had an impact on my perceived exertion. Then on the spot, Fitbit generates a chart specifically for my question with my latest pace compared with similar runs, providing a dynamic view of my fitness data that previously wasn't available. With generative AI on your side, you'll have so many creative ways to dig into your health and fitness data.
So it's not just about showing the data points. It's about offering the LLMs, open up this door of offering some sort of analysis of that data. So it's not just points on a map. It's, okay, these are the points on the map. This is how they compare to other times. This is why that's important. That's interesting.
I do love this. I think especially with data, we have so much data these days, and historically the issue with data has been trying to analyze it, especially for people that are lay people, presenting it in a very glanceable, easily grokkable way. And that's always been a challenge for data viz. I studied it a little bit in school. And so I think this is a good approach to do it for Google, is to how to access that data easier.
And we can't wait for you to try it on.
And get some understanding
Pixel
around
Watch
it.
2 comes in a Wi-Fi
$349 is the price. Wi-Fi LTE versions.
And they'll ship next week.
Starting at $349.
Every Pixel Watch 2
you get 6 months of Fitbit Premium with that.
6 months of Fitbit Premium, which unlocks a whole new level of insights and content to help inform your wellness journey. And for the fitness tracker fans out there, check out the just released Fitbit Charge 6. It delivers the most accurate heart rate we've ever released on a tracker. And it's the first tracker to include Google Essentials like Maps, Wallet, and YouTube Music controls. Next up, here's Rick again to introduce the next evolution of Pixel smartphones.
All right, so we're going to get into the smartphone announcement. That's coming up. But before we listen to Rick there, let's take a super quick break and thank the sponsor of this live event. TWiT News brought to you by our friends at IT Pro TV, now called ACI Learning, with an astounding 30% of IT Pro learners being MSPs. It's no wonder why IT Pro continues to be the preferred choice for training teams. Practice labs, they're the perfect place for MSPs to test and to do those experiments before deploying new apps or new updates, all without compromising your live system. You can assign episodes and courses to upskill your entire MSP team while tracking your training investment along the way. So that's managing seats, assigning or unassigning specific team members, accessing monthly usage reports, and so much more. You can boost morale and fortify your business's future with IT Pro's courses. Upskill your team today. All you got to do is visit go.acilearning.com/twit. TWiT listeners can receive up to 65% off an IT Pro Enterprise Solution Plan, that discount being based on the size of your team when you fill out their form.
To deliver so many innovations.
Rick Osterloh on stage, about to talk about the Pixel 8 and the 8 Pro if you didn't already know everything about it. Maybe there'll be some surprises.
See in the dark. The first phone to answer the phone for you. The first phone to unblur your photos. The first phone with car crash detection. The first phone to protect your browsing with a built-in VPN at no extra cost. And we have a whole new set of firsts to show you today. I'm excited to introduce you to the next evolution of AI in your hand. Google Pixel 8 Pro and Google Pixel 8.
Definitely
It's interesting framing.
Yeah.
AI in your hand.
Similar design,
Our
looks a
latest
little
phones
roundeder,
bring together so
rounder.
many technologies from across Google. They're the first
The
phones
edges are
to use our
a lot more
latest Google
curvy.
Tensor chip. They include the very best Android experience, first of their kind camera experiences, and the latest AI advancements from Google. From the inside out, Pixel 8 and Pixel 8 Pro are built to deliver the help you need in a way that only Google can. And as you can see, they're absolutely stunning. Here's Claude to take you through all the gorgeous design details.
Claude, the AI, the LLM that you can send queries? Oh, no, this is a real person.
He's a real person.
And Pixel 8
Sorry,
Pro
Claude.
are the most beautiful phones we've ever made. They're the centerpiece of Google's growing Pixel portfolio, and you can see how well they're complemented by the rest of the family. Every Pixel device,
Ecosystem.
from the phone in your hands, to the watch on your wrist, to the buds in your ear, and to the tablet in your home, is designed to fit into your life seamlessly, to provide a helpful, fluid experience, and to reflect the human, optimistic, and daring design that Pixel is known for. Instead of angular corners and edges, Pixel devices replicates that calming feeling of picking up a smooth piece of sea glass. Pixel 8 is an evolution of the iconic Pixel design with more fluid contours and a smaller size that feels so natural to hold. Pixel 8 Pro introduces new considered design elements into the portfolio. We're using a soft, silky, matte glass finish to contrast with the high polish camera bar and highlight our powerful new camera system. We bring that same thoughtfulness to Pixel's color palette, which continues to evolve with natural and inviting hues. Our porcelain shade on Pixel 8 Pro is accented by a soft gold trim for a luxurious ceramic look. And our new bay blue color is both energetic and hopeful.
Blue.
We're even updating Pixel Buds Pro today with new colors to go with our new phones, including bay blue and porcelain. As a company, we know that device manufacturing carries a heavy responsibility, and we take that responsibility seriously.
Sustainability.
We continue to design all of our products with sustainability in mind from the very beginning. We're working towards Google's commitment of net zero emissions by 2030 by reimagining the materials that go into our products, how we manufacture them, and how we distribute them. And that's why we're now on our 4th generation of Pixel phones that use recycled aluminum. In fact, every device you see today uses repurposed materials, from the 100% recycled aluminum enclosures on Pixel phones to our fabric watch bands. And Pixel 8 packaging is completely free of plastic. Another aspect of sustainability is longevity. Accidents happen.
This could be big news.
And we're working to make Pixel phones easier to repair. We've partnered with iFixit to offer parts, tools, and repair guides directly to DIYers, so that it's easier than ever to repair your own display, your battery, or your camera.
Yeah, that's good.
Now, one of the most important design elements on Pixel 8's
Wasn't where I thought he was going, but
I thought he was going to go maybe talking about software security updates or both.
Your phone should show you the world in the way that it actually appears in real life.
But they really do work hand in hand, right?
New
The rumor being that the software updates are going to be the longest in, for Android. It's like 7 years or something like that. And you got to have the ability to also keep the device in good physical condition over the course of that time.
Absolutely. If your battery's exploding, it doesn't matter if you're needing 3 more updates.
Exactly.
For your games, your photos, and everything else that you do on your phone. And Pixel 8 Pro takes our real-world display technology to the next level.
I thought I was having brain fog from COVID. Actua. Okay.
Actua.
The 6.7-inch display is even more immersive, And it's our brightest display yet, with a stunning peak brightness of 2400 nits and a variable refresh rate that intelligently adjusts from 1 to 120 hertz. Even in direct sunlight, you'll love how true to life your Ultra HDR images look.
Actua
On the back of
display.
Pixel 8 Pro, you can see that we've added a new temperature sensor.
Right.
It's a convenient and a quick way to check the temp on a pan or to make sure that the milk in your baby's bottle
Such an interesting
is just the right
inclusion.
temperature.
I would not put my phone.
Yeah, don't do that.
You can also use our thermometer app.
I don't know
to
how
make your
close you
own
need to be
temperature.
to take that test.
Yeah.
To the Fitbit
Oh,
app
God.
in the future.
They need to explain that more, please.
Yeah, I feel like I need a little more context around the temperature sensor.
Pixel 8
Kind of gives me
Pro are getting some
radar
big
vibes,
upgrades
the
on
Sully
inside.
radar vibes.
No, that's
Veronica
fair.
To tell us about the next generation.
It's like, okay,
of
it's
Google
there.
sensors.
And I guess that's neat, but what is the why? What is the why for it? I'm still a little confused.
Pixel 8's helpful AI experiences start right in the silicon. Let me introduce you to the new Google Tensor G3. It's our latest mobile SoC designed specifically to bring Google's AI breakthroughs directly to Pixel users and show the world what's possible. In our new Tensor G3 chip, every major subsystem has been upgraded. It includes the latest generation of ARM CPUs, an upgraded GPU, new ISP and imaging DSP, and of course, the TPU, our on-device AI engine that we've custom designed to run Google's AI models efficiently. I want to show you what those models look like at an on-device level and how Tensor continues to push the boundaries when it comes to AI innovation in mobile computing. Let's start with the growth of machine learning models in Pixel. Compared to the first generation of Tensor on Pixel 6, the new Pixel 8 runs more than twice as many machine learning models on device. That's a massive jump in a short time. And it means Pixel's machine learning isn't just for speech and photos anymore. ML models now enhance just about every aspect of Pixel's user experience. And the models themselves are getting more sophisticated too. The heaviest model on Pixel 8 is 10 times more complex compared to Pixel 6. Tensor G3 is so efficient, not only does it run more ML models, more complex models, but in many cases, it runs them concurrently, which is why Pixel can deliver so many unbelievably helpful experiences that no other phone can, like amazing new Pixel camera capabilities, which you'll see in just a bit. But first, let's talk about Pixel 8's new speech enhancements. Pixel speech and natural language understanding continue to lead the industry with on-device accuracy that rivals the machine learning in our data centers. You can already use Pixel to type, edit, and send messages with your voice. Now Pixel 8 even knows what language you're speaking and can switch back and forth with you as you talk in multiple languages. No other phone lets you do that. Pixel 8 is also our first phone to use the same text-to-speech model that Google uses in our data centers. So I can just long press on the power button and Pixel 8 will read web pages out loud for me. This is super useful when I want to listen to articles while walking my dog Berkeley. Let's take a listen.
6 must-try tips for taking incredible pet photos with your Pixel. Ultra-wide, macro, portrait. Here's how to use your Pixel's camera and photo tools to get the best pet photos.
The voice sounds more natural, and I can fast forward.
Again,
or modify the
making
speed.
progress. Am I going to want to listen to like a 5-minute article like that? Like, rarely. I mean, sometime I might do that, but yeah, it's just not the same.
That just make your
Not
phone
yet.
calls and
I think it will
life
be.
easier. Like helping you navigate a phone tree and automatically removing background noise from your calls with clear calling and saving you from calls you don't want with call screen. Now with improved AI, the next generation of call screen is helping Pixel users receive 50% fewer spam calls on average. It silently answers calls from unknown numbers with a new, more natural speaking voice, and it's smart enough to separate the calls you really want
it's pretty
from
sweet.
the calls you really don't.
I do love that.
Yeah, I love picking up my phone and realizing, oh, it's doing that in the background. Like I didn't even know that it was happening.
Hi, you've won an all-expense-paid trip to the Caribbean. Press 8 to claim your prize now.
Unfortunately, the person you're calling cannot take your call right now. Have a nice day.
That actually...
You can see why Pixel users love this feature.
I wish we had like a snark-ometer on that, though. That would be like the really polite decline.
Hi, this is Kristen from Anywhere Airlines.
Before I try to connect you, could you please give me a quick description of why you're calling?
We need to make some changes to your flight reservation. I'm calling to discuss ticketing options.
Okay, let me try to get the person you're trying to reach on the line.
That's neat. Like that.
I do like that a lot. It kind of reminds me of Interstellar, the bots in Interstellar where you could, like, as you were saying, ask for sarcasm percentage.
Yes.
50%.
I'd love to crank 40%. That up. If it's a spam call, I'd love to like crank up the snarkometer and
phone tag with your doctor's office
play with them a little bit.
Confirm an appointment. This next generation of auto call screen will even work on Pixel Watch when connected to a Tensor-enabled Pixel phone. It'll come to Pixel Watch and Pixel Watch 2 in a feature drop later this year. Those are just a few improvements coming to Pixel 8 with Tensor G3. And with each new generation of Tensor, we're pushing the boundaries of on-device AI and redefining state-of-the-art for mobile computing. You'll see big jumps across practically every major user experience on Pixel 8, including the camera. And here's Shanaz to take us through all the firsts coming to the fully upgraded Pixel 8 camera.
All right. The camera is a huge feature for Pixel. Shanaz, is going to give information on that, but let's take a super quick break and thank the sponsor of this live event.
We have so much exciting.
One more time, TWiT News brought to you by our friends at IT Pro TV, now called ACI Learning. 94% of CIOs and CISOs agree that attracting and retaining talent is increasingly critical to their roles. So invest in your workforce and keep their IT skills current. You can do that with IT Pro. From CompTIA, Cisco, and Microsoft to security and cloud fundamentals, your team can master it all with IT Pro. Plus, make sure and check out ACI Learning's newest product. That's Cyber Skills. It's a training tool for all members of your organization, not just the IT pros. Cyber Skills is cybersecurity awareness training for non-IT professionals to secure your business on all fronts. IT Pro and ACI Learning are with your team every step of the way. So visit go.acilearning.com/twit. TWiT listeners actually receive up to 65% off an IT Pro Enterprise Solution Plan, with that discount being based on the size of your team when you fill out their form.
New camera magic to share with you.
All right, let's get into the camera. I think most people, if they don't have a Pixel, but they've heard of the Pixel, they've probably heard about the camera or the AI features, but this is always just such a big part of what makes a Pixel special, in my opinion.
Combines powerful AI and Tensor G3 with a fully upgraded ultra-wide and a new wide camera that's capable of producing 2x optical quality images with even better low-light performance. And the biggest leap forward in Pixel camera this year is video. The video capabilities in Pixel 8 represent years of R&D across Tensor, AI, and software. Combine that work with the upgraded main sensor, and you'll see vast improvements in low-light video performance, dynamic range, and shadow noise. And we're continuing to expand our image equity efforts with real tone, so your videos and photos accurately portray the wide range of human skin tones. Along with Pixel's best ever skin tone accuracy in your videos, you'll see improved mixed lighting performance and much faster autofocus in low light. So no matter what you're creating with Pixel camera, everyone will look more like their beautiful selves. Now, as every creator knows, visuals are only half of the equation when it comes to great video clips. So we are pioneering new computational audio capabilities with the first of its kind feature called Audio Magic Eraser. It lets you reduce distracting sounds in your videos using Tensor G3 and advanced machine learning models, and it's easy enough that anybody can do it. Audio Magic Eraser identifies different sounds in your video and sorts them into distinct layers that you can control.
Hey, it's almost like a multi-track. What? That was cool.
I was going to say, Jason, you're an audio person. How hard would this be to do on your own with, you know?
Oh, I mean, on my own, it would require some sort of software and some knowledge on how to use it in order to isolate those background noises. And that would come at the expense of the foreground noise. That's pretty impressive. I mean, AI is doing a lot of this stuff already, so it makes sense that Google would integrate this. This is a great example of taking modern AI tools that you go somewhere for and integrating into a product that you're using in a really useful way.
Somebody is always blinking or rolling their eyes.
Oh,
Group photos,
face swap time.
Yeah.
But Pixel,
I'm not so convinced on this one.
The new Best Take feature in Google Photos. Best Take uses a series of photos taken closer together to help you create the shot you want. So you can choose what you think is the best expression.
It's neat, but I'm sure like when you don't see the process of it, it's not as weird but when I see the process of it, it gives me the creeps a little bit.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't notice if I just saw the end product.
Exactly.
But
yes.
Bad group photos and turns them into perfect group photos.
Amazing. I have endured a lifetime of other people ruining my group shots. Hey, how would you two like a picture with a hot Hollywood celebrity?
3, 2, 1. All right, do you want to check this out?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's called Best Take, and what you can do is grab different expressions and combine them into one so that everyone looks good.
The UI is compelling on how to do this.
It is.
I'm really curious to know like how the final result is.
But not you, because you're lactose intolerant. She actually is. No way! Ice cream, yeah! Oh, but the ice cream tastes like dirty socks. What? And who is the designated photo ruiner in the group? Oh, that was quick. But look at that. Hard to find a bad photo of you, but we did.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Wow. You switched your whole face out.
Whoa. And now you guys look like the cast of a good 90s sitcom. Yeah. Now, kids, I need you to look.
You know, again, I mean, this is really neat, but it really, it goes into that weird realm of blurring the lines between what actually is real and what isn't.
Yeah. I saw a headline today about what is a photo actually. I mean, it's kind of like a philosophical take on like, what are we actually doing now when we take photos with all of this like manipulation?
Is it a moment or is it creating an art piece or you know what I mean? It's not quite capturing a moment as much as it is. And yes, as John just said, an interpretation of what that moment could have been. It's really
it's almost like going back to old school Renaissance paintings where you create an idealized, you know what I mean, like representation of a moment, and I just have to figure out if that's okay.
I mean, I know for me, I would value higher in my camera roll, an actual photo that was done without manipulation. You know what I mean? I feel like if I was manipulating and moving the tent like we just saw in the video over, like I would just know too much about that picture to want to like frame it, put it on a canvas on the wall. Like maybe I wouldn't though. I don't know.
And it recognizes more than just faces, like your dog or your dinner and even documents. Pixelate reimagines what you can do with a smartphone camera.
Pixelate. Oh, that's so great.
Generative AI in Magic Editor. Best in
Normally a bad thing. Google's taking this term back.
I don't know why I didn't make that connection before. That's so great. I love it.
And new ways to get creative.
Pixelated. That could be the title of today's show.
Take a look.
Rocode in the Discord points out that we went past the line of, photo manipulation and what's real and what's not a long time ago, mentioning red eye removal, which, at the end of the day, it's all tools. It's all tools to improve the photo, I suppose. So, yeah, I'm like really really mixed on my opinion on it. Like red eye removal is like, okay, well, there's a technical limitation that the flash, gave that eye a redness that shouldn't be there, so remove it. Swapping in faces, I don't know. I just see it as kind of different. It's kind of like you're constructing a new photo out of many other photos, and it's more Photoshoppy. And I don't know, what is the difference.
Yeah,
I don't even know anymore.
mean,
I'm so confused by it.
I mean, I think Jeff is spot on with the red eye is not actually there. It's a side effect of the technology, as you said. It's not your eyes aren't actually red, so you're kind of in a sense correcting to match reality.
Yeah, good point, Jeff Jarvis.
This reality did not exist before, and you're creating an ideal one. So it's subtle, and I totally get you. It really just depends on the person and their perspective.
Yeah.
With anything but our absolute best camera in a smartphone, and you'll get it with Pixel 8 Pro, which has everything you just saw in Pixel 8 and much more for people who want the most powerful camera system. Every camera in Pixel 8 Pro is upgraded. The triple rear Pro camera system gets a new main sensor with better low light performance, a bigger ultra-wide lens with even better macro focus, an upgraded telephoto that can capture 56% more light and take photos with 10x optical quality.
I love me a telephoto.
And we've added autofocus on the front-facing camera, so you can take
a good
the
telephoto.
best pixel
So often it's
selfies
the
ever.
camera that's like
Now, when you combine the
thrown in
An
there just
add-on.
to have it on a spec sheet, and it looks horrible.
We have a triple array.
everyone to get a picture-perfect pixel photo in any lighting condition. We're also introducing new Pro controls on Pixel 8 Pro.
Excited for this. I am excited for this.
Total creative control over the camera. You can adjust settings like ISO sensitivity, shutter speed, lens selection, and focus.
Yeah,
you can also
that's
get
good stuff.
high-resolution 50 megapixel images from across the zoom range in both JPEG and RAW. And when you open those RAW images in Adobe Lightroom, you'll see they retain our signature HDR Plus adjustments. We gave our Pixel Creator Lab
Very
photographers early access to Pro controls.
Oh, I'm
and
so
you can
happy
see
to
the
have Pro
range of
controls on this camera
possibilities.
system.
Like gorgeous.
I mean, you can get
studio
it with third party, but it's really nice to have it baked in. Samsung's been doing this for years, and I use them all the time.
Yeah, you can. It's. I used to work with Camera API a lot, and there. It's you for a long time. You've been able to, like, I don't know how to explain it. Software wise, you can do this, but there must be a connection between the quality of control in the unit itself versus the software. That's
Totally.
Means your videos will
Amazing.
be sharper, more vibrant, and sound better than ever. Video from Pixel 8 Pro is gorgeous. It's the best video quality ever on a Pixel.
I'm super curious about that.
Further to show what's possible with computational audio, introducing a new form of video processing called Video Boost.
Video Boost,
It
okay.
totally changes the game. Look at how it compares to a different phone we picked up recently. You can see the skin tone is lifelike and properly balanced, while the mountains and sky
not just subtle
full
shaded.
dynamic range.
Recently released.
The video has vivid color and detail that Pixel photos are known for. And that's because every frame of this 4K video has gone through our HDR Plus image pipeline. For a 1-minute video at 30 frames per second, that's the same as processing 1,800 photos.
Thank you,
That is
Tensor
really
G3.
Yes, and I feel bad because I know sometimes we make fun of them for the dryness and technicality of these presentations, but that's really freaking hard, and it's hard to communicate that to a mass audience. Like, yeah, this is legit impressive, and I cannot. It's ridiculous people to do this on a phone.
And video on Pixel phones has long been an area that has needed some serious attention. Photos,
Samsung's
great.
been
Video, fine, passable. But video on other devices like Samsung does video great, in my opinion. So I'm really curious about this. Super curious.
Boosted video automatically appears in your
Video
Google
Boost
Photos
complete.
library. And when you use Video Boost in low light, it automatically enables night sight video for the first
Which is
time
also
on Pixel.
awesome.
Yeah, totally.
Check out what one of our favorite photographers was able to do with night sight video.
this has been needed as well.
島田沙耶香です。東京でフォトグラファーをしています。
I was gonna say that had to be Tokyo.
東京にはいろんな顔があって、夜の東京は昼の東京と全く違うと思います。新しいピクセルには動画ブーストって機能があるんですけど、暗いところだと夜景モードが作動して
So for audio listeners, this is really a look at nighttime videography in Tokyo.
思い出の場所なんです。
Everything's very dark, but with very kind of specific points of light and detail in the darkness.
Yeah, it's like a city at night, so you've got neon contrasted with super dark and wow.
Yeah, looks really nice.
All those little city details like
totally
lamps and reflections.
Night sight's good. Even with photo though, night sight can have a hard time with focus in that really low light, and I'm wondering how that kind of translates to the video implementation of this.
ちょっとゆっくりめ。あ、できてきた。見て見て。
I do wonder the real life time it takes. It did show that you do get a notification when the processing is complete. So
yeah, right. How long does that take?
That's reasonable. Yeah, that's reasonable. But for consumers, I wonder how fast it will actually be and whether it's tolerable for the average user.
Even from there, it could be the kind of thing that if it's a little bit longer than users are used to waiting at this point of give it to me now, is the benefit enough to overlook it and be like, okay, actually, that's really cool. I'm willing to wait a minute for this to churn.
Yeah.
I don't even know that it's going to take a minute to churn, but
yeah, we don't know. But it is unfortunately like your perception of what something should take as often does not match how.
Yeah, right. Yeah, totally.
How long is reasonable?
Yeah.
By subtly enhancing the light in the scene, you're getting truer colors, more details in the buildings, clearer dynamic range in the colorful lights that make up the cityscape. Even the fine details in those small
curious to play around with that.
It looks like a city at night. With Video Boost on Pixel 8 Pro, you're getting the best low-light video of any smartphone. Video Boost is coming to Pixel 8 Pro in a feature drop in December, and you're going to love it. It perfectly demonstrates what sets Pixel really apart as a smartphone. You have powerful on-device processing with Tensor G3 coming together with Google's state-of-the-art research in machine learning and AI. And then the processing in your video is augmented by one of the world's most powerful cloud computers. It's a unique combined approach where the data center acts as a
Is that Video Boost happening on Google Photos? Did I miss that? Is that like a feature that it churns behind the scenes?
Only Google
It's got to be Pixel, right? Because of the competing power necessary.
Yeah. Well, and they did say a feature drop, so yeah, I don't know.
We've got some big changes coming to Google Assistant thanks to our advances in generative AI. And here's Sissy to give you a first look.
All right, generative AI on your Pixel phone. Yeah, I'm sure there is a bingo card out there that had that.
7 years ago, we introduced Google Assistant on the first Pixel phone. And since then, we have helped hundreds of millions of users across all different devices get things done at home and on the go. Today, I want to show you how Google is changing how we deliver helpful experiences to people all over the world. And the key here is our generative AI research. Bringing the latest models to the mobile device that's always with you opens up so many new possibilities.
Bring it.
Just a few months ago, we launched Bard as an early experiment. It's a conversational AI tool that lets you collaborate directly with our most capable models. Bard can help you brainstorm ideas for a game night with friends, get some creative inspiration for a new project at work, pick up a few tips.
From a usability standpoint, or for the potential on mobile devices, Bard would be the next gen assistant, essentially. Like think of how we've used Assistant in the past and the complaints that we've had that, oh man, I just wish it would do this. That's kind of where these generative AI and large language models like Bard can fill in the gaps and say, okay, you used to want to be able to do this on your mobile phone. Now you can. Now that is totally possible.
It would be great if somehow this extended to third parties as well, because that's always been a difficulty from third parties, is that we want to tap into these kind of things, but the load on us is a lot higher.
Yeah.
And if LLMs can kind of bridge that gap by being able to make those connections, again, synthesizing, love it.
Yeah.
But we'll see what actually happens.
Our excitement in realizing our vision for Google Assistant.
There we go.
While Assistant is great at handling quick tasks, like setting timers, giving weather updates, and making quick calls, there is so much more that we've always envisioned a deeply capable personal
basically what I
assistant
just
should be able to do.
Yep.
But the technology.
Jason, you should be on stage next year.
Didn't exist
Hire you to do it.
until now.
Until now,
I'm
finally.
excited to share an early peek at something we've been working on. We call it Assistant with Bard.
There we go.
And it brings the best of both experiences right to your phone.
I don't know that I saw
It's a
this.
step towards our vision to deliver the world's most helpful personal assistant.
I don't think I did either.
Assistant with Bard combines personalized help
I'm
with
super
reasoning
curious
and
here.
generative capabilities. So it can hear, it can speak, it can see, and it can even take actions that help you out right on the device you always have with you. This is an experiment we're super excited about. Let me show you some examples of what it'll be able to do. A great assistant should help you make sense of your day and stay on top of what's important. Open Assistant with Bard and say, catch me up on any important emails I missed this week. And you'll get a rundown of what's in your inbox.
Oh my God.
3
Yes,
important
thank
emails, including a party invite. Assistant with Bard can dig into the
God, I will so
details for
use
you.
that.
Where is Grayson's party? It can spot that the party is
I'm like
across the
ashamed
river
of my
in Brooklyn.
email game these days. So maps
How long will it take
integration.
to get there? And just like that, you have quick directions from Google Maps. And of course, you can still use the classic assistant features. Text Jenny, do you want to ride with me to Grayson's party? You can see how Assistant with Bard pulls together the information you need from different apps and services so you can get stuff done so much faster. So say you're renting a house in Los Angeles with some friends.
I wonder if the
weekend.
ML would know how
Check
long
out
I need to
how
take to get to a place, because it's different than what Google tells me.
Grocery list for the
more time.
weekend for 10 people. Go heavy
Yeah.
on the snacks.
No,
I'm that
for
person.
anyone else, it would take this long. But
But girl, you need an
But
extra 10
when-
minutes, all right?
we've learned over time that you need an extra 10
And with
minutes.
a quick tap,
That is exactly what machine learning needs. I need machine learning for.
Totally.
it took less than a minute to create.
Grocery
From
list.
here, you can ask for recommendations on things to see, build a weekend itinerary, discover the best spots to
All right,
soak
so
in
this
the
is-
views.
This is doing what these AI systems, I think, need to do in order to really get masses using it. Not make it a destination, but integrate it into the products you're already using. People
Absolutely.
are already used to using Assistant on their device, so suddenly Bard becomes a really, really leveraged AI system that gives Google a big point of brag.
Yeah, and having more
words.
flexibility as well, and not having to know like the secret words or just like the specific way you have to phrase things. So it makes it a lot more accessible to lay people.
An assistant with Bard can be your creative partner here. So check this out.
Oh, here we go.
Pop it over your photo and use it as the visual cue. So Assistant with Bard can see what's on your screen, understand the context, and help you with what you need. Create a cute social caption for Baxter. Quick and easy, and you're back to enjoying your hike. This conversational overlay is a completely new way to interact with your phone and lets Assistant with Bard meet you wherever you are. We're so excited about what's possible when we bring our most helpful generative AI capabilities to one of the most assistive experiences in the world.
Heck yes, I'm all
Assistant
about
with Bard
this.
is the coordinator
Gimme.
who can help you take something off your plate, the planner with useful travel tips, the creative partner you turn to for inspiration, and so much more. We hope it changes how you get things done and bring your ideas to life like a true assistant. We are rolling out Assistant with Bard to select testers shortly, and we'll be expanding availability as an opt-in experience in the next few months. So for Pixel 8 users, keep an eye out for how to try it for yourself. And now back to Rick for a few final Pixel highlights.
I'm so excited about that. I mean, honestly, it's what we've been waiting for Assistant, is to just be better.
For sure.
And it really fills in the puzzle piece.
You've heard about a lot of incredible experiences and transformational new technologies we're bringing to Pixel, thanks to Google's deep investments in AI. And this is just the beginning. Google's AI research teams are changing everything in this space with generative AI foundation models. It's a paradigm shift for computing, and it leads to more contextual, more personalized, and more powerful help. For instance, Proofread and Gboard now takes advantage of generative large language models in the cloud, so it can go way beyond fixing typos. It offers help with your spelling, grammar, and punctuation errors in a single tap. As another example, Pixel's getting better at understanding the language in content, like web pages. Here's a long article about things to do around Pier 57. Just tap Summarize, and your Pixel will generate a quick overview for you. Google's generative AI models can help you do more, even on your busiest days. Now, imagine a future where generative AI runs right on the phones we have with us throughout the day. Pixel could be even more personalized, responsive, and always ready to help. So here's the news. We engineered Pixel 8 Pro to be the first phone to run Google's foundation models directly on the device. We've worked closely with our research teams across Google to take advantage of their most advanced foundation models and distill them into a version efficient enough to run on our flagship Pixel. And even those distilled on-device generative AI models are really complex. Pixel 8 Pro can run generative AI with up to 150 times more computations than the largest ML model on Pixel 7. And this leads directly to improved experiences on Pixel 8 Pro, like a better magic eraser, which is super useful for removing distractions from your images. With on-device generative AI, you can now remove larger objects and people without smudging your photo. Instead of blending the surrounding pixels, the improved magic eraser generates completely new pixels to fill in the spaces left behind by cars, people, or anything else you don't want in your shot. So you get a higher quality image that looks just the way you want it to. Now you'll get the upgraded Magic Eraser right away on Pixel 8 Pro. And we're working hard on lots more generative AI features that are coming to Pixel over the next few months.
Oh, I bet you are.
For instance, reporters getting even more helpful with on-device summarizations.
Oh, I love recorders.
The on-device is huge, though. Having it run locally is pretty baller.
With accurate live transcriptions and powerful search running right on the phone. With on-device generative AI in Pixel 8 Pro, you'll be able to get concise summaries of your recordings that quickly recap the highlights.
Google really leaning into the summary kind of strength, the strength of summarizing that LLMs actually have the ability to do, which I think is really, I think that's super smart. That's a very useful thing that people will want. Like I've recorded things for a couple of hours, 2 or 3 hours with Recorder, and then you got to go back through and you got to distill it down. That's perfect use for LLM.
The boundaries of what's possible.
It's a feature I did not actually think I needed until now. But I am excited, for sure. Like being able to pick out between multiple similar-ish clips.
Generative AI image model on device. Our newest feature building on this will be Zoom Enhance.
Sorry.
When you pinch in,
Zoom
Enhance can intelligently sharpen and enhance the details of your images so you can get closer than ever, even when you forget to zoom. It's an incredible application of generative AI, opening up a range of possibilities for framing and editing your images. So the kind of zoom enhancement you used to see in science fiction
Yes.
It's right in the phone in your hand. So these are just a few of the early applications of on-device foundation models we can run on Tensor G3.
That sounds awesome.
And they aren't off in some far distant future. Pixel 8 Pro ships with the updated Magic Eraser, and the others will be available in our upcoming feature drops starting in December. And for years to come, your Pixel 8 Pro will bring you the latest on-device generative AI innovation from Google as we roll out new features. We're so excited about the future of the Pixel portfolio. Thanks for letting us share our vision with you today. You'll find all these new products available for pre-order right now in the Google Store. Pixel 8 comes with an unbelievable camera for both photos and videos, a brilliant Actua display, the powerful new Tensor G3 chip for helpful features like Best Take and the new call screen. And Pixel 8 is available for pre-order today with some great offers.
Pixel Buds Pro.
It comes in 3 colors.
Oh,
it's
wow.
On shelves
us.
next week.
Amazing.
Pixel 8 Pro is a true flagship phone with never before seen features and design elements. You're getting Super Actua, the best Pixel display ever. Upgraded performance.
Super Actua.
Enhanced connectivity. Faster charging speeds. It's the first Pixel with a temperature sensor.
Okay.
You get a massive upgrade in camera sensors and lenses, pro controls for experienced photographers, industry-leading video thanks to Video Boost, and it's the first phone engineered and built for the generative AI era, with new breakthrough AI features coming later this year and so many more in the future. Pixel 8 Pro is available for pre-order now in a fresh range of colors, and it'll be on shelves with Pixel 8 next week.
Is the
Pixel 8
throw in there
and 8 Pro are also the first phones to ship with Android 14, bringing exciting new capabilities like generative
right
AI
at the end.
wallpapers,
Oh yeah, also
more customizable lock screens, monochrome theming, Ultra HDR, and more. It's such an exciting time for the Pixel family. Our vision of AI-centric mobile computing has guided us for the past 7 years. And as I say every year, it feels like we're just getting started. We're hoping your Pixel 8 is just getting started too, and that it'll be with you through years of AI advances and breakthroughs. And that's why, for the first time, Google is expanding Pixel support to 7 years.
Excellent.
I'll go ahead and applaud that.
No, that's long overdue, needed.
7 years
and
of OS upgrades.
They're reading the room
security
because this is what
updates,
people want right now,
feature
is
drops,
to keep their
and
phones.
AI
Absolutely.
innovations.
And even if they don't, want it or know that they want it, they need to have it anyways.
No, I literally saw an Android dev consider switching to iOS because of the gap in support that have existed. So heck yeah.
Yeah,
That's our show for today.
That's fantastic.
There's a lot
That
more
makes
to
me
these
really
new products
happy.
and services. You can get all the details right now on the Google Store. And we'd also love to see you in our Google Store locations here in New York and at our newest store at our headquarters.
Technically, you could still be using the Pixel 8 Pro and the Pixel 8 in 2030.
Very soon.
It's kind of crazy, but true. I was wondering if they were going to announce it. Like, here we were at the end. I was like, seriously? Like, you're not even going to mention this thing? The update? And I saw an article in The Verge confirming it. So I was like, okay, it's definitely happening.
No, it's just a good little mwah. By the way, if you spend that $1,000, you're going to get updates for 7 years. So there we go. Pretty good.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and just take a breath and welcome in our new Pixel family. Before we kind of go through a little recap, what is top of mind for you as far as the thing that kind of like, you know what, this has me really excited, or this was really interesting?
I know that's the 7 years for sure. I think is super interesting. I just because we've had so many conversations, like with, just in general, but like the economic environment, inflation, the right to repair, I really feel like that, this is Google putting their money where their mouth is and kind of responding to, the sentiment of consumers, and doing it with a flagship, like with their brand. And they've been gaining, market share. We always talk about numbers because I know Jason loves numbers, and, they're still not a huge part of the market by any means, but I think it's really, I just think that's I want to say game changer, because it feels more like a phrase I would use for something like Zoom Enhance, which, by the way, I also love, and bless whatever marketing or product person approved that naming. But I think just the practicality of letting people keep these phones for longer is going to keep enticing people over. Like, I mean, a lot of the features that they talked about today are incredibly impressive, like technological, like feats that deserve a lot of applause, but they're things that don't necessarily always hit you in your everyday life, or especially in your pocketbook, right? Like all the videography, computational photography, even the Google Assistant or Bard, right? These are things that to a large extent people don't know that they need, or they still need to integrate into their lives. But you today could use a phone that you can use for 5 years. You could do with not having to switch your phone every 2 years. So I don't know. I just think that's most impactful, because they're going to continue to iterate on AI and make even faster, better, crazier chips that are able to hold 1000x models. But if people aren't buying the phones, then people are not going to be adopting, these new things. So I think that's like, I know that's really not like sexy to say, but that I think that kind of puts a topper on it. Like, hey, invest in this, invest in these things. So anyway.
Yeah, I think it's interesting hearing you kind of talk about the kind of there's the lifespan of these devices, which is, the potential of holding onto the device for the next 7 years, and still getting updates throughout that entire time. Now, that's major OS updates, that's security updates, that's feature drops, which Google loves their feature drops. I have to imagine 7 years from now, the feature drops that are coming out that target this device are probably, pretty minor, because you're talking about 7-year-old hardware at that point. And that actually makes a big difference when we're also talking about how all in Google is apparently going on and continues to go on artificial intelligence, on bringing that into the device with their updated Tensor chips, the Tensor G3, as they said, what do they say? Up to 150 times more computations than the largest machine learning model on the Pixel 7.
On the Pixel 7.
So that's last year's model, and already that's an increase. Imagine if they continue at this rate, expanding the feature set of their Tensor chips to make them more competitive year after year after year on each, consecutive device. How even, God, because now I feel like I'm poking a little bit of a hole. I don't mean to make this sound like I'm like this isn't a big deal, the 7 years, but I do think that 7 years from now, the phone that Google's going to have and what it's capable of, given the kind of momentum and pathway that they're on right now with artificial intelligence and creating Tensor chips to be capable of supporting that. I mean, they're going to be miles apart, but I think at the end of the day, you can hold onto this phone if you want to. What's it going to be able to do by comparison to the latest and greatest? That's a different story. But the fact that Google's going all in on that update promise, also the repairability, improved repairability of this device. And I imagine that's a commitment that they're going to make on future models, and, hopefully work with iFixit to make that more achievable for people. Yeah, I think that's great news. Fantastic news.
Yeah, well, I think you're right, though, that no, they're not going to be running the best AI, the best LLM models or ML models on a phone 7 years from now, but we'll get the phone in more people's pockets. And I think that's what they really need to, is that this decision will turn, I think it's like 12% market share in North America? I know we just read a report recently about this, but if they can keep edging that 12% up and up and up and compete with other smartphones, I think that will then kind of open up everyone to the new experiences that, and obviously this is the other huge one is Google Assistant with Bard. And we knew it was coming. And we've seen like them restructuring, the company and the groups within the company to make, generative AI, LLMs, a larger part of all of their products. And so obviously getting people to see the possibilities of Bard. Because I think it's like all of the examples they give, I think my first reaction is like, oh, that's cute. Oh, I'd like that. And just like the smartphones to begin with, we didn't really know what smartphones were going to be in our lives 15, 16 years ago. This is kind of like that cusp, right? Where it's cute now and sure, but the more that people use these and are exposed to these features and the more they learn what they can do with them, the more it's just to become kind of like just like any other technology, more of a commodity and like a day-to-day necessity. So obviously the Bard in Google Assistant was a big announcement. I mean, I feel like we've focused so much on the phones and the watch and to less extent the other kind of like hardware side of it that the software is always going to be the killer these days, especially because everything's so iterative. So
yeah, indeed. Like, I mean, take a look at the design of the 7 to the 8 or the 7 Pro to the 8 Pro. There's not a whole lot of difference there from a design perspective. And the design used to be the hill to die on for smartphone differentiation, you know? And I guess with foldables, it still is sort of. But Google's MO all along has been create something that can run our software, that can serve people, that can present people our services, have them integrate their entire lives with our data centers. And, they're talking about, how generative AI on these devices is going to, pull information from all the apps and services that you're using into one single experience. And, given it works and it does that well, and it doesn't, hallucinate in some weird way that, really makes you second guess it or question whether you ever want to use it again because it did that thing that one time that totally messed you up and got you in trouble with your boss, or I don't know what the scenario is. But, it all depends on how well this stuff is implemented. I think what Google has going for it is they've been here before. They've done the assistant and they've, learned a lot as far as how to present features like this that a consumer might be interested in, and hopefully to gain the trust of that consumer into using it again and again and again. And that could be, this could be a huge opportunity for Google to really kind of capture some serious momentum when we're talking about the AI wars. And, like we said earlier, all the companies they're tripping over themselves to make sure everybody knows we are heavily invested in AI. It is our highest priority. I mean, you go ahead and throw AI on to smartphones. Granted, Pixel is a smaller, market share than a lot of other Android devices, but I don't think Google is alone in bringing AI to the Android platform, and there's some serious potential there.
Yeah, I think actually though trust also is an interesting point too, in that, and it's one of those kind of really important but very low key in terms of like I guess appeal to consumers is like the local models, right? Being able to actually run all of this incredibly intense AI directly on the phone. It kind of gives them also the advantage of security and privacy because again, all of this sensitive data, all of your Gmails, all of your, personal like contacts and communicate. If it's run on device, then you have like some at least a little more assurance that your data is not going off to Google somewhere. And obviously that's kind of like a thing that is on people's minds these days is what are big conglomerates doing with my data. So there's that, but then also like availability of like the services as well. Like, and we kind of mentioned this a little bit talking about the video boost is like, okay, what will people wait for? What is the round trip that people are going to accept when it comes to something like video boost? And AI is a little bit different scale, of course, than just processing a whole dang 4K video. But again, having that feature available, having it being fast, having it being accurate, accessible, and very natural for people to use, and having it being fast and private, that's kind of big. And I think that it definitely feels big for me. And then it's less sexy to talk about on marketing, but that actually is pretty dang cool too. So, and then I guess as we continue to have AI more integrated in our lives, the harder questions and the flip side of, having, again, Google go through your data and give you useful information will probably pop up, just like, anything else with technology.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see. But I think it's a good, I'm impressed with the tracks that they've laid out, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm super, super happy with the announcements today. Of course, they started off with the Pixel Buds Pro, which, they had to get the least exciting thing out of the way. $200 for the Pixel Buds Pro update. Design-wise, very similar, but some new features like clear calling AI to improve the sound of, or basically bringing the clear calling AI into the earbuds to eliminate background noise and improve foreground noise. Bluetooth super wideband speech integrated there. Talked a little bit about Google Home giving now a summary of events, real language queries about events, so you can, interact with your Google Home and say, hey, tell me, did that package arrive? And instead of me having to open up my Ring app and scan through and, the person detected. Okay, now I got to watch that video and everything. That stuff can be done for you. Some experimental features next year. Pixel Watch 2. With its quad-core CPU, 24 hours of single charge with always on display. I think 24 hours for me, that's. I mean, if that is true, fantastic. True. I only ever really need for it to last me from pulling off the charger to putting on the charger at night, and as long as it does that with a little bit of extra room to spare, and I think at 24 hours, I think you've got plenty of room to spare, and so that's. Comfortable. Do you have the Pixel Watch? Do you wear the wearable these days?
I do, but I
have it. I never wear it.
I haven't, and I've wanted to play with it. I've actually I've given away most of my Pixel Watches because it doesn't quite fit my lifestyle. I am a Whoop fitness tracker user, and it kind of. But I've always missed. The Wear OS experience, because I think for certain occasions, I used to love it for directions before Android Auto was a thing, having directions in a more safe way of glancing at it. Yep. And I do love some of the features, being able to do more from your Pixel Watch and being able to do it untethered, because I think that's a big thing for people, right? Is being able to do stuff on the phone, but not it feels like it has felt like it not defeats the purpose, but kind of lessens, the functionality of the watch a little bit to kind of always have to have your phone nearby. But with them pulling so many features onto the watch directly, every year I kind of fall off using watches, but then every year I watch Made by Google and I'm like, just try this.
Good. I'll try again. Yeah, that's what it is for me. It's I'll try again. Let's see it. And then, it still doesn't really fit into my lifestyle. Although, I do go to the gym a number of times a week, 2 or 3 times a week. And along with that, some of these fitness features could actually be really helpful. They've got an improved heart rate sensor. They've got the electrodermal activity sensor for stress monitoring. If you want to kind of keep track of your stress level, that's interesting. Skin temperature sensor. And then of course they mentioned the updates to the Fitbit app, including summaries. Summaries came up a lot throughout this whole thing. It's we've sicked our AI on that data to allow you to get easy summaries, and that's one way to do that. You can query the Fitbit app about your workout to get a sense around why was it harder for me to do this run today than it was yesterday, and they can look at it, and the app can look at it and give you information about that. That could be actually really, really helpful.
Yeah,
you're into fitness. How do you feel about these expanded fitness features?
I mean, I love it. It's weird because I think a lot of my fitness friends are Apple Watch users, and it's so interesting to see both Google and Samsung kind of try to be in the health watch space.
Yeah,
and I think this is actually a very Google way of approaching it because, when you start your fitness journey, or if you've been on it for however long time, a lot of it is trends and data and figuring out what works for you, what's not working for you. Why is it harder today? Why is it easier today? And trying to parse all that information is just, it's just not something human beings are not all good at, right? Sometimes we just don't know why something works for us or doesn't work for us. And the last thing you want to do is scroll through tons of graphs or go through, your records and try to, be your own fitness computer. So I do like the approach that Google is taking is they're trying to match their strength, which is again, the LLMs, the assistant kind of style approach and synthesizing all these things across their products. I think it makes a lot of sense for them to approach it this way because, everybody these days has a stress monitor. Everybody's telling you how you're sleeping. They've been able to tell you for years if you're snoring or whatever. But being able, again, to kind of synthesize that information and present a user-friendly, consumer-friendly, format or like way of accessing this information is really interesting because, I think a lot of us have had that, moment where we try to, be our fittest, bestest selves. And, there's always that kind of hill of like, whether it's the learning curve or motivation or whatever. And that's where technology can kind of fill in the gap or kind of help push us across the line. So I do like that approach to it a lot, is being able to be like having someone to be your coach basically and tell you, in English, what you need to do and what's happening.
Break it down for me.
Break it down, exactly. The breakdown.
Break it down for me.
Woka.
Exactly. Oh boy. And then finally, of course, the Pixel 8 and the 8 Pro. Yes, the new Tensor G3. Design-wise, very close looking anyways to the previous iteration. Maybe a little bit more rounded and kind of, has like a bubblier kind of quality to it. Improved repairability with the partnership with iFixit, as we talked about. Super Actua display, which essentially means really bright. I'm translating that, right? That was all about, for the most part, brightness.
Nits. Much more nits.
2400 nits at its brightest, I think, on the Pro. That temperature sensor on the back area, which I still feel like there's a story missing there. I want to understand that one a little bit more. Maybe that is just a the output from the fact that 3 years ago we were in the midst of COVID. God, has it almost been?
Yeah.
Has it been 3 years at this point? I don't even know anymore. But
yeah,
we were there in a very different world, and temperature actually was a really big deal. Remember going places and getting your temperature checked, and maybe that's kind of like when that decision started. I don't know. I want to know the story there a little bit.
Well, and I think that came up around a lot with a skin temperature sensor on the Pixel Watch as well. And I mean, just for an example, of course, we've all been used to having our temperatures checked constantly. Another thing that I have actually heard a lot of fitness trackers or fitness kind of peripherals focus on actually is like menstrual health and being able to check temperature sensing in regards to that. So I feel like I could see that, but the story was super incomplete. Like the fact that they talked about you could measure the heat of a pan. I was like, I don't think that's the actual use case you want to be promoting right now. But it's like, the story was a bit missing there, and maybe that it will be part of a larger software-based feature later. But
something down the line.
It felt a little throwaway. Yeah, it was a little bit of a throwaway mention, unfortunately, the way it came out.
Super confused on that, which is not to say that I don't mean to imply that it's not useful. I just want to know what was the idea around the inclusion of that? Because anytime you're putting together a smartphone, you're balancing cost, you're balancing feature set, and you got to make decisions. Like if we include that means we can't include this. Why the temperature sensor? Why was the choice to put that there? I want to understand it more. And I'm sure it has a reason to be there. Just give me that reason. Yeah. But the Pixel 8 $699 pre-order, Pixel Buds Pro if you pre-order, thrown in to the box, or probably its own box, to be honest. Pixel 8 Pro, which we realized only during this live show that Pixel 8 makes a lot of sense. Like that's such a cool little marketing thing. Yes, it's Pixel and then the number 8, but it's also Pixel 8. I like that. $999 for the Pro plus a Pixel Watch 2 thrown in for good measure if you pre-order. So if you're going to get this, maybe consider pre-ordering. Although, as we know, I swear, like 2 months, like clockwork, 2 months after these phones release, Google's going to heavily discount them like $200 or something.
Especially with the holidays coming up.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. So, what else? Pro controls in the camera, video boost and night sight video coming in a December feature drop. Both of those I'm really looking forward to, just because video has long been not the best feature of Google's camera system. So it sounds like they're finally kind of making some what seems to be pretty meaningful updates, at least on the software side. And I just want to see the output of that and show
us the video.
And then finally, artificial intelligence in many, many different ways. Next gen call screening they showed off.
Yep.
Assistant with Bard in so many different ways. Essentially, Bard picking up the assistant football and scoring a touchdown. Damn, why did I go to a sports analogy?
The sports the ball and the end zone.
and throwing it into the basket, the football.
Yes.
To get around the goalie. Pulling info from apps, from services to make a better assistant experience. That's coming soon to select testers. Will be opt-in, which is smart. I think it needs to be that, especially for now. Again, summaries. So using Assistant to summarize articles, read articles to you. They recorder getting summarized feature. Summarize was appearing everywhere. Smart reply in Gboard. Improved Magic Eraser on the Pixel 8 Pro. Zoom Enhance coming soon. That's cool.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And the name is amazing.
Yeah, love it.
Marketing Wayne.
And then finally, just the throughout the factoid that the 8 Pro is the first phone to run Google's foundation models on device. They've distilled it down, made it efficient enough to run on the Pixel 8 Pro. So if you're getting the 8 Pro, that device is doing a screaming amount of AI on the device, up to 150 times more computations than the largest machine language model on the Pixel 7. So that's going to be the running story. Year after year, that's going to be one of those stats that they update, and that gets the wows. And if this year is any indication, as that happens, we're going to see some really killer features that are supercharged by that on-device computation capability in the way of AI features, at least in the coming years.
That is insane. You don't often hear 150x when talking about tech year over year. That's pretty impressive.
Anything.
So,
right.
Anything, really. So.
And there we have it. That is the Made by Google event. A lot of fun. I'm sure. Like, is your plan to pick up these devices? What's your next step?
So I have the Pixel Fold. I'm so happy with it, but I definitely was charmed by many of the features. But I think for once for this year, I'm going to wait till the holidays to get a little bit of money back. Because right now I'm an independent developer. So an extra $300 in my pocket or whatever the, the holiday discount will be helpful, but I am super interested. It's going to be really hard not pre-ordering it, to be honest, especially with the Pixel 2 watch, which again, I don't really use, but I always buy anyway, which is just ridiculous. But maybe if I wait for the holidays, I'll feel less bad about it. But the money's burning a hole in my pocket, but I might just wait this year just because.
I guess you could buy it now and then sell the watch if you don't need it now. Okay.
That would get me my $300.
Exactly.
So the discount that I don't get. So,
but I bet a lot of people are probably doing that. So, it might take a while. Anyways, I hope to get my hands on the Pro. Definitely plan to upgrade to the Pro. The watch, I mean, I would love to get it for review. Don't know that I'm going to be buying it, though. It's just consistently, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me in my use case these days.
It's really samesies.
Yeah. Well, Huyen, this has been a pleasure. Thank you for bringing your AndroidFaithful.com amazingness. I'm trying to give you some plugs here. Talk a little bit about Android Faithful. People need to know about it, especially because there are some familiar faces on there, including you.
Yes, absolutely. So if you were a fan of the old TWiT show all about Android, which did in fact star Jason, myself, and our co-host Ron Richards, Ron and I are still keeping the Android Faithful flag going with our new podcast. We record live every Tuesday. Might seem like a familiar time. Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. We record live, and then we are available on your podcatcher, your favorite podcatcher of choice. And we also have a VOD every day on the Daily Tech News YouTube channel that is our friendly host and sibling podcast, tech news podcast. So yeah, we're there. You can find us again at a very familiar time for All About Android fans. And yeah, we're still doing exactly what we've been doing, what we're doing before, and talking about Android news every week with amazing guests. We had our friend Juan Bagnell on yesterday. We had
I saw him in chat. He was here just a little bit ago.
he was hanging out. He said he was going to hang out today.
Nice.
We had Jason on a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, we if you're an Android fan, an Android faithful, come on in and join the conversation, because we're talking about this stuff every week. Please.
Yeah, fantastic show. AndroidFaithful.com. And I'm just always so happy to get the chance to talk with you.
I'm always so happy to hang out with you, Jason,
on these shows, and to talk Android especially. This was a lot of fun. Thanks for waking up early.
Super fun.
For this.
I mean, I didn't wake up as early as you, so it's the least that I could do for you and for Android.
Thank you, Huyen. Yeah, so you can just find me here at TWiT doing the shows. Some of them behind the scenes. I gotta, after this, kind of do some prep work for This Week in Google this afternoon for Leo and crew. Paris Martineau is actually going to be guest on today's show, so that's cool. And then Tech News Weekly every Thursday with Micah Sargent. Probably be doing some sort of interview or discussion about these events that we just spent the last hour and a half covering. And then in the afternoon, if you're a Club TWiT subscriber, you can get Jeff Jarvis and myself on AI Inside. Again, probably going to be talking about some of this news on that show as well, because it was very AI focused. That is a Club TWiT exclusive right now, though we do record it live. So if you want it, and you aren't in the club, you want to see what you're missing, tune in at 1 p.m. Pacific to twit.tv/live, and you can watch it recorded in real time. But that is tomorrow, October 5th, Thursday, every Thursday at that time. Let's see here. If you want to follow events and live coverage that we do throughout the year like this, you can. twit.tv/news. Go there and you can kind of get, the pre-recorded versions of these. Of course, when we do them live, we're streaming it to our live site, which our live page at twit.tv/live, like we are now. But they always end up released as a podcast for TWiT News. So go subscribe there. Big thanks to John Slanina, who got up bright and early to be here. Normally he sleeps a couple more hours, but today he sacrificed 2 hours of sleep to help bring you this live coverage. So thank you, John. Also, John Ashley, who got his butt to the studio to help out and to turn this around. Can't thank the Johns enough around here. So thank you to both the Johns, and thank you for watching and listening. I hope you've enjoyed this TWiT live coverage of Google's Made by Google event 2023. Enjoy your new hardware, everybody. We'll see you later.
Hey there, Scott Wilkinson here. In case you hadn't heard, Home Theater Geeks is back. Each week, I bring you the latest audio-video news, tips and tricks to get the most out of your AV system, product reviews, and more. You can enjoy Home Theater Geeks only if you're a member of Club TWiT, which costs $7 a month, or you can subscribe to Home Theater Geeks by itself for only $2.99 a month. I hope you'll join me for a weekly dose of Home Theater Geekitude.